Liverpool FC, my team of brothers, my band of brothers. Two games, two consecutive games, two consecutive draws. Just not good enough. If you're going to win the league, you need to have consistency, and they're not proving to have consistency. There was Bill Shankly that famously said that the league is not won in December, the league is not won in May, the league is won in February and March. And that's because that's when the pressure really starts to take its count on the teams that are challenging for the title. 1-1 draw with West Ham at the, I don't even know what they call it, the Olympic Stadium or whatever it is, the National Stadium, whatever that stadium is. It's not Upton Park, that much we know. On the same weekend when Manchester City laid down a marker with a 3-1 win against Arsenal. To be quite fair, I don't know why people assume that Manchester City may stumble against some of these bigger teams. If you look at Manchester City's losses this season, they've come against Chelsea, small team there. But you look at the other three losses, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, teams that are not really even challenging for top six positions, and Man City have actually gone on and lost those games. So to expect them to actually lose against teams like Arsenal, teams like Man United, Spurs, probably a little unrealistic. They pick up their game in those matches, and obviously, or more frequently than not, end up running out winners. The converse is actually true for Liverpool. Liverpool have only lost one game this season, and that was against Manchester City. They've drawn a few games, but some of the games that they've drawn again have come against the likes of Leicester, who, let's face it, were actually very good and probably deserved the win, even though Liverpool should have had a penalty in that game. But then against West Ham, first of all, we were lucky to be awarded the goal, which with VAR in place would have probably been ruled offside. But yeah, they're just not looking like, they've got what it takes. Still 3 points clear. And by the end of tonight, it could be level on points. Man City could go top of the log with a win against Everton today. I'm very quickly going to run through some of the other results because I think it's important. Spurs scoring another late winner to beat Newcastle and to keep the pressure up. Now only 5 points behind Liverpool. Everton against Wolves. Everton at Goodison Park, not good enough. Marco Silva is failing to do the job for which he was appointed. 3-1 against Wolves, and the man of the match in that game was definitely a cat, black cat crossing the park there for 3 minutes. I'm going to come back to the Chelsea results in a little while, but we'll get through some of the other boring results. Brighton 0, Watford 0, boring game. Burnley 1, Southampton 1, another boring game. Crystal Palace 2-0 winners over Fulham. Not really surprising, London derby there, but Crystal Palace proving that they want to stay up. And then Cardiff City making a fight of it now after losing to Arsenal in midweek, undeservedly if you ask some people. They go on and beat Bournemouth 2-0. Let's not forget, Bournemouth are the same team that beat Chelsea 4-0 last weekend. So, they had some form going their way. Cardiff City did well at home to pull out a result there. But that Chelsea team that Bournemouth beat were chalk and cheese compared to the Chelsea team you saw on Saturday. Beating Huddersfield, it was Huddersfield, but beating Huddersfield at Stamford Bridge 5-0. The question for Chelsea and for Sarri is, how can this team put in a performance like they did against Bournemouth in not even 1 week, in 1 day, and then 3 or 4 days later go in and put in a performance like they did against Huddersfield? Not too much difference between the opposition, to be fair. So what's the difference? Is it that the players are just not motivated enough? Eden Hazard cannot continue to claim to be one of the best players in the Premier League, if not the best, if he's going to put in an abysmal performance one day and then a man of the match performance the next day. For sure, he showed why he's worth what they say he's worth on Saturday, but not on Wednesday. He doesn't really pull it out when he needs to pull it out. He's reliant on other people in the team. He's not one of those game changers. And speaking of game changers, the man who's changed his game completely since Jose Mourinho has left is Paul Pogba. Probably one of the best players in the league right now, driving Man United to, again, what many deem to be an undeserved victory against Leicester. Another man of the match performance from David De Gea. Leicester piling on the pressure. They've actually been performing really well lately. So Man United did well to fight and to take all 3 points away from Leicester on Saturday. But yeah, coming back to the Man City and Arsenal game, Man City completely deserved winners in that game. Raheem Sterling proving why he's worth every single penny of the 50 million that Liverpool actually sold him to City for. And Arsenal, without even an attempt on goal in the second half, was just not good enough. We've got to give Unai Emery more time, and that's why, with a nice segue, bringing us to our biggest losers, biggest winners, and our game of the week. And that is why we have to say that the biggest loser of the week is not Arsenal or Unai Emery, even though they came up against a strong Man City side and failed to register a shot on target in the second half. But our biggest loser of the week has to be Marco Silva's Everton. And I'm saying Marco Silva's Everton because he has to take responsibility for what he's done or not done with that team. For me, definitely that result against Wolves at home was abysmal. The defending was abysmal. And I know a lot of it cannot be placed at Silva's feet, but his teams that he's managed in the Premier League have actually proven that they cannot defend set pieces. He needs to fix that or he's going to be out of a job. And if he goes and beats Man City today, the Everton fans will not be happy. Not because they've beaten Man City, but because they've allowed Liverpool more breathing space. Our biggest winners of the week, this is a tough one. But I'm actually, even though Chelsea recorded a 5-0 victory, I'm going to say that it's got to be Cardiff City. They are in desperate need of the points. And for me, they were the biggest winners of the week with their 2-0 victory. And then the game of the week, as much as the Liverpool-West Ham game or West Ham-Liverpool game was the one that I was waiting for because I support Liverpool, I still think that the one that provided the most excitement and thrills would have probably been the Leicester-Man United game. So that one for me is the game of the week. I know Manchester City Arsenal was hyped up to be this great game. All that game showed us again is that Man City have strength and depth. They have a wonderful squad that they can call on whenever they need to. And more importantly, that they are definitely worthy of being contenders for the title. And Arsenal have proven that they are a team in transition. So we'll give them that breathing space. Once again, game of the week, Leicester Man United. Winners of the week, Cardiff City. And biggest loser of the week, Marco Silva. We'll catch you on Monday for the next installment of the Biased Football Fan Show. Take care and have a good weekend.